You know, at some point in all of our lives, we have been in a situation where we was green. We started off from the bottom, from the mud, and we were naive to a lot of things that has been going on in our lives. We started off not having all the answers. We started off with being confused and making the mistakes that we've been making. We started off with zero.
What's up, YouTube world? It's the one and only
Scenario.
and I'm here to drop some fire content ranging from food, music, story time, products, business, giveaways, overall growth. I'm sharing my journey, so tap in. Be sure to subscribe, comment, share, and like. Don't be shy. Let's take a ride.
What's up, YouTube world? You're now tuned in to Scenario the Illustrator, and I'm back again with another video. And the topic I'd like to touch on today is being green. Yes, you heard it, being green. Well, Scenario, what do you mean by that? Well, boom, let's dive off into it. You know, at some point in all of our lives, we have been in a situation where we was green. We started off from the bottom, from the mud, and we were naive to a lot of things that has been going on in our lives. We started off not having all the answers. We started off with being confused and making the mistakes that we've been making. We started off with zero, nothing on the table, and basically we just learning as we go. That's what I mean by being green. And in the process of starting off, we was running into hurdles, circumstances, issues. We were fucking up. And when we were fucking up, a blessing was happening in the process. The type of blessing I'm talking about is the learning experience. The learning experience. The learning experience is getting the proper information so we can properly grow as people, as an individual who understands life from a better perspective. When you green, a lot of people don't realize is that that's where your true journey begins. It's in a green area, in a green stage. Even though it may seem rough, even though it may seem complicated and weird and it frustrates you, and you run into all these issues and all these problems, the process alone is what's gonna put you in a situation where you have a learning experience, and you take that what you learn, and the next move you make, you make sure it counts. You make sure it counts. It puts you in a situation where you're not out here just naked, without information, lack of information. The green stage is where the structure is being created. The green stage is where everything falls into place. The green stage is where the real soldiers, the real kings and queens grow from. You know what they say, that if you keep doing the same thing over and over again and getting the same results, that's a form of insanity. When you in the green stage, that's where a true individual grows into a real woman, and a true individual grows into a real man. It's all starting from the green stage. The green stage is where all the information lies, but you would never know, or you would never learn from it if you don't never try. You know, in the green stages, usually that's happening when you're young, when you're naive, when you don't know no better. That's usually where the green stage happens. When you in the green stage, oh man, it starts from school, it starts from home, then it works its way from school. When you are one of those little badass kids and you out here cutting up, you're getting suspended from school, And then you start to grow and you start to realize that, you know what? I'm in a situation right now, and I know life is not perfect for everybody. Life is, because we're not gonna get what we want starting off in life. You gotta work your way up, you gotta build your way up. Once you get into a stage of independence, once you, from school, from living with your parents, to a form of being in school, you work your way up, you level up. Then when it's time for you to graduate high school and you gotta go off to college and you got all these responsibilities and all these things that you gotta take care of yourself. You're supposed to take all the knowledge and the information that you learned from when you was coming up in the green stage. What did you learn when you was in the green stage? What did you process when you was in the green stage? Everybody started off in the green stage at once upon a time in their life. Facts. Everybody started off in a green stage. There ain't no way around it. And even as adults, people still be in the green stage. You can be in the green stage running a business. You don't know nothing about running a business, but something inside of you got a passion. Something inside of you telling you that, oh, well, this is what I want to do. And when you start off, when you running a business, you green to it. You don't know what you're diving off into it, but you're going to learn as you go, right? You're going to learn as you go. As long as you stay consistent and you don't quit, you're going to learn as you go, right? When you in a green stage, when you take care of your business and doing what you got to do, and that's what you want to do to level up in life, you're going to learn from the mistakes of running the business. You got to learn. Once you learn from all the mistakes from running the business and you stay consistent, then your business becomes stronger and you can see longevity in it. That's a form of being green too. You can be green to relationships. There's situations where people are green to relationships to the point where they get in a relationship with somebody and they not really tapped in. They just going off the physique and off the mind and of understanding of what looks good ain't always good. And you're not realizing the person that you're dealing with, they on some other type of stuff. They not on the same page as you. They not on the same they not vibrating at the same frequency as you. That happens too. You can be green to a degree where you can be really in a serious relationship with somebody, and your mentality is, you know what? This is the person I choose to rock with. This is the person that I choose to deal with. This is who I'm. This is who I'm. I decide to, spend my time with. Then when you deal with that person, you're not knowing that they got angles. You're not paying attention to the signs, and they realize that you're not paying attention to the signs. And the angle is not in your best interest. The angle is not there for you to you may be getting used. You may be getting played. You may be getting taken advantage of. But you're not really tapped in to understand what type of person this is, because they probably giving you what you want. And that's what's blinding you from, that's what's keeping you in the green stage. That's what's keeping you in the green phase of dealing with them, until they decide not to deal with you no more. Facts. You can look at many angles of life on how easily a person can be in a situation. There's a positive side of being green, and there's a negative side of being green. Facts. You can be green to your health. You can be green to not realize that maybe I'm doing something to my body that is detrimental. It's how can I say it? It's a liability to myself. I'm doing something, my intake, I'm not taking care of myself properly, and I'm not realizing that these aches and pains that I'm having is all based off of this type of food that I'm eating. based off the type of food that I'm eating. I'm green to the idea, the understanding of how proper nutrition and health. Green to the be in the position of not understanding, you know, I may be allergic to something I didn't realize for a very long time. I'm forcing myself to eat something that I'm putting something inside my body. And as I'm eating, it's doing something. I'm getting a reaction. My body's reacting to whatever I'm doing. I'm green to my health. There's multiple ways you can look at the situation. Multiple ways you can look at the situation on being green. But you know what? In the green stage, there's always a light. There's always a positive side to it. It's a learning experience. It's a learning experience where you have to look at the situation where you take the knowledge and the information and you use it. See, that's the blessing. You know, when you have God, and you tapped in and you locked in, and he got you here, and you paying attention to the message that he's delivering to you. He got you tapped in. You take that information, re-rock it, flip it, turn it into an L. You know, there's always no, my bad. I said turn it into an L. Turn it into a W. There's always a better light at the end of the tunnel when you can take information where you experience something that was a L, and you take that information and you flip it and you turn it into a W. I'm just saying. But, you know, like I said, at some point, there's probably people right now, not probably, I know for a fact, there's people right now who's in a green area right now as I'm speaking. You're not realizing what's going on around you. That's why I'm making these videos, to raise awareness. To raise awareness, to get you up out of that fog that you in. To get you tapped in. I'm raising awareness. You don't want to stay in the green zone too long. Because a lot of people, and I mean a lot of people, been living in that green zone for too long. And you wonder why your life ain't improving and you don't see no progress. Because you keep doing the same thing over and over and over again. It's repetitive. Your routine, you got to switch your routine up. Get up out that green zone. When you switch up your routine and you get up out that green zone, and that's when everything, God is going to start working in your favor. It's okay to be in the green zone, but it's a problem if you choose to stay there. Facts. It's a huge problem if you choose to stay there. I'm just here to raise awareness. I'm here to raise awareness. I'm here to help people think. I'm here to wake people up. Get them up out of that brain fog that they up under. You know? Being green is not a bad thing. Just learn from the circumstance that you in and get you, man, a lot of people need to get back into journalism. A lot of people need to get them a lot of people need to get them a tablet. A lot of people need to get them a tablet, get them a piece of paper, something, and a pencil, something to write with, and put down, make a list of things that makes you feel like you in a green zone. Just write a list. Just write. It only take about what, 10, 15 minutes? Unless you know for a fact that you really in a fucked up situation. And that list is gonna take a little bit longer, I get it. But what I'm saying is, a lot of people need to, sit down and just write a list of things that that puts you in a situation where it's like, damn, and start working on each one, knock out each one and correct each one on the list to help you get out of the green zone. That's all it takes. Put a little effort, spend a little time. You know, it ain't that hard. If you care, if you into self-care and into self-love, you're gonna do stuff like this. This is what I do. You know, I do things to get me out of the green zone. I've been green. I'm keeping it real. I've been in green zones sometimes before. You know, I'm not exempt from the topic. You know, but once I realized the mistakes and the things that I've done and I've been involved in, I didn't stay, like, you know, because if, you know, when you in a green zone for too long, I can imagine the amount of stress. You probably got an anxiety, you probably, because you're going in a circle, you're stuck in a revolving door, you know? But once you identify the things that's keeping you in the green zone and you start correcting them, you know, the clouds will start the clouds will start to part and the sun will start to shine. You know? Just try, you know? But this was just something that was on my mind, on my heart, something I needed to get off my chest to help the youth that's behind, the generation that's behind. Because they the ones that really need this information. There ain't too many people having these conversations no more. And I'm keeping it real. That's why a lot of people keep getting hit with the okie doke. The booby traps is out here. You know? But this is your boy Scenario the Illustrator. Remember, put in the comment section below topics that I can touch to the best of my ability so we can keep this motion going. But remember, stay 10 toes down, keep your head on a swivel at all times, and stay blessed. Peace.